My buddy Kris Richards wanted to come over and check out some of my gear, so I made him sit down for an interview. We played my 2-Rock Bloomfield Drive and my Universal Audio Aux amp top box. He really dug both, and I had to roll some footage and really get an example of how great of a player Kris is. He's a wonderful guy from Nova Scotia. He hasn't been in Nashville too long, but he's really busy. You'll understand why when you hear him play. Phenomenal player, and even better guy. I even gave a little lesson at the end on some of the things that I thought were wonderful about Kris's playing. Okay, so sit back and watch the interview with Kris Richards from Nova Scotia. He lives here in Nashville, and stick around for the lesson at the end of the interview. I'm Congilio, and you're going to watch me interview Kris Richards. Hey man, welcome to my place. Thanks for coming and hanging out. This is Kris Richards. You're from Newfoundland or Nova Scotia?
Nova Scotia.
Oh, I was
close,
close.
man.
Yeah,
Close.
yeah.
Starts with an N. You know.
I have a client I produce. He's a good friend of mine, and he's not even a client. He's like a little brother, and he's from BC, and he talks about how
the West Coast.
Yeah, he talks about how Newfies and East Coasters talk. It's really funny.
Yeah, we have a funny accent, right?
Yeah. You somehow have completely lost it.
Well, I think you learn to talk a little different because as soon as you say something like A, they're like, oh, where are you from?
Right.
And then you gotta do the whole story. It's like, wow, Nova Scotia.
So, how long have you been in Nashville now? Just a couple years, right?
A year and a half, yeah.
Oh, a year and a half.
Yeah.
And you're blazing trails, man. You're busy because you should be busy because you're a monster player.
No, I don't know.
That I intend on stealing some licks from.
No, I can steal some licks from you.
That's what it's about. That's what we're here for. Yeah. So you're on the road with Clay Walker.
Clay Walker,
right?
yeah.
How did that gig happen? How did you fall into that?
Basically a friend of mine, Stefan LaPlante, who's also a fellow Canadian, and he used to play for Clay.
Oh, okay.
And since then he's moved around and played with a few other touring artists and stuff, and the band leader for Clay was messaged him, I guess, and asked him if he knew of anyone looking for an acoustic gig.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I initially got the call for the gig.
As the acoustic?
As the acoustic, yeah.
Okay.
Did some gut string. And so I did the audition and was lucky enough to kind of get that spot.
Over to the electric.
And then I eventually, I was playing, I think, acoustic for maybe 2 or 3 months. And the lead player got another gig with another artist, so I kind of transitioned over to the lead.
That's
position.
really nice that they were able to offer you that, because that doesn't always happen, because they're like, okay, you're working out there, we're not going to move you. Yeah. So that's really cool that happened.
It was cool. I mean, playing acoustic and gut string, that's a totally different world.
It really is.
Doing the lead stuff. And I really enjoyed it. But definitely doing the lead stuff.
It sharpens another part of your brain.
It does.
Which is really cool.
It does. Getting the right tones live and just thinking of everything differently as opposed.
I'm doing that thing where like I can't have a guitar in my hands because I'm like noodling.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's like your girlfriend or your wife's like talking, you're like
Wait, it's like what'd you say? Yeah. Just working on this diminished like you.
Right, exactly. So anyhow, you're doing some other stuff too. You're doing some sessions and you're doing some online videos here.
Yeah, picking up the occasional session and doing the odd Skype lesson here and there if someone wants to. Take a lesson. Doing some demo work with J-Rock Pedals, of course, and a few other companies. And
good friends.
Yeah.
Love what they do.
You know, Kris,
absolutely.
Can't go wrong with him, man.
That's right.
He's the bomb.
And a fine guitar player in his own right, although
he's got the Van Halen thing down.
He would kick and scream through those comments, but he can really shred.
And he can rip.
Yeah.
That guy Floyd Rose, it's dangerous.
That's true. And he's got quite the guitar collection too.
He does.
To the gear conversation, you're playing my Mario T style, Mario Martin T style.
I love it.
And you're just tearing it up. It sounds killer.
Wow.
And you just got a Mario guitar of your own.
I did, man.
You got like sort of a hot rod Strat, right?
Yeah. So it's
I should have communicated with you better.
I know. I wish I would have brought it because it's candy apple red and it's
it's beautiful.
It's fast looking.
And yours has a roasted maple neck on it.
Roasted maple flame neck.
That's really cool.
Yeah, 2 singles and a humbucker in the bridge.
Nice.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm glad you're having a good experience because Mario and the team are making stuff better all the time.
Dude,
I'm really in love with that telly. I think it's great.
They know how to build things right.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
they're really nice guys. Really friendly. Love it.
Oh yeah.
Great dudes.
So one of the reasons you came over, other than to talk, like, so here's what happens, folks. When these guitar players come over to my house, I just make them stay and do this because they're all badasses and they all deserve to be heard. You're like, you know, one of a few already that have been here, and everybody's different and has something cool to offer. I understand why podcasts are as popular as they are.
I love them.
Because everybody's got something to share.
I know, it's true.
But you really wanted to hear my 2-rock Bloomfield Drive.
Yeah.
So far, you've been impressed, right?
Thing is awesome.
First impressions.
Oh man, it's like the best Fender, but beefed up on steroids.
Yeah.
And it just has a bit more mojo to it.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It feels good to play through.
Good, yeah. There's a lot of
it. Nice.
And you're going through the Universal Audio aux, which you also wanted to check out.
Yeah.
Welcome to the one-stop demo shop over here. It's only because I'm a geek and go in debt buying this stuff too.
We all are.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to know where it's a club.
Yeah.
So you're playing that into the aux, the 2-rock into the aux. We're tracking it here in Pro Tools. Sounds really, really good.
Right into the Apollo Twin, right?
I have an 8P over there, Apollo 8P.
Oh, right.
And this is just for looks and control. That's all.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. But man, it really sounds good. How are you feeling about aux right now? And you're use a Kemper and use some other stuff.
Yeah. I'm using a lot of Kemper right now just because I'm in an apartment. But man, I want to get into aux because I love real amps. I love, you know.
That's what it was designed for.
Like how they react and using pedals in front of amps and
exactly,
stuff. So
exactly.
I don't know. It's more. I feel like it's more legit using the aux as opposed to plugging a pedal board into a Kemper.
Yeah.
And
That's
trying to get the same thing. It's different.
That's the thing I have a problem with is pedals going into a circuit board driven thing.
Yeah.
I think Kemper's amazing. I think all the profiling stuff is really, really good. To me, this is the ultimate marriage of those two worlds, which is what I always wanted.
And you would never know, like we're not using like we're not actually miking up a cabinet right now.
What I said earlier to you before we rolled the tape is I was like, you get used to what your amp sounds like through 8-inch speakers.
You do.
You know, and then it's not going to be hitting you in the legs.
Yeah.
But that's not what happens in the studio anyway.
Yeah.
So this
is true.
However, with the attenuator, you can really get the most out of your amp at any volume.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it actually makes you play a bit better too, as opposed to
an
amp in a room. I mean, it is nice. It's my favorite thing, an amp in a room. Just the speaker, but you're also hearing the air around it, and this is it's more precise. I find when you have it mic'd up, when you have a cabinet mic'd up, or using the aux.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, everything you're playing, it's getting translated.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's revealing.
It's going to Pro Tools, it's like, well, that's really good, or that was not so good.
Yeah. All things to learn from. So speaking of learning, and I wanted to kind of, the thrust of these interviews is every one of us, if we've played an instrument, it's like picking up a golf club. You never master it, but it completely, you chase it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are some of the things you do to kind of keep yourself on an even keel so you don't say, oh man, just this thing's beating me.
Just give up.
You know? Yeah, because you've gotten this far, so you're not giving up, and neither am I.
Yeah, that's a great question.
But what are some of the things, like, because a lot of people that are going to be watching this are beginner to intermediate people that they're like, I'll never be able to sound like that, or, you know.
I find that sometimes it's actually, it might be gear. Like buying a new overdrive pedal, it might inspire you to pick up guitar or play a little differently or try something new. But for me, it's just discovering new players.
Yeah.
Listen to music I don't usually listen to or something.
Sure.
You know, if I'm big on country the last 2 years and want to listen to something rock or something, it might just inspire me to, you know, oh, that player's cool. Who's playing on that album or whatever? Then you kind of dive into that player and you know, get what you like from him. Yeah. And try to play it yourself. Just keep getting inspired.
So you say that maybe like motivates you to like pick it back up and say, oh man, this is really fun. I can learn this new thing.
I mean, it's because it's easy to get down on yourself, and because there's a lot of you know, YouTube players are incredible. It's like
I heard a quote from a popular guitarist say that it's become the arms race.
Yeah, it's true.
It's almost back to the '80s where it's like, who can play the craziest, fastest thing.
I know.
You know what I mean?
But I'm tapping out. That's not.
Well, that's me. Same here. But I think is the thing that keeps guys like us working. I think is we try to just play for the song.
Yeah.
You seem like a band session oriented type player, but you can definitely blow the doors off the instrument for sure.
Thank you, man.
But speaking
Likewise
of,
for yourself.
Thanks, man. Well, speaking of surviving guitar, what's next for you on the horizon next year? More tour dates?
Yeah,
stuff like
it's December now, so we finished up touring with Clay a few weeks back. In January, it starts back up like crazy.
Great.
So
yeah,
we're looking at I think close to 100 dates again.
Oh, good for you.
This year, so that's going to be kind of the main gig.
Great.
And then when I'm off the road,
fill in the calendar with whatever
lessons
else.
or
Cool.
sessions here and there, demos.
Right.
Well,
Mace, thanks for coming over, man.
Dude,
thanks for sitting
pleasure,
down
man.
and shredding my instruments.
Oh man, it's great.
That sound amazing. And man, you have like a bear claw for a hand. It's Kris Richards, everybody. Kris Richards.
Right on. That's Corey Congilio.
Cool. So Kris played some really lovely chords that I thought I'd show you if you're not familiar. He was jamming in the key of E. He played a lovely E sus2 type sound. Here would be the triad. Here's the sus2, sus4. He chose to play this shape, which sounded great. Then he opted for a B9 sus or B11. And he went down a whole step and did this move as well. So when he was here, he's playing a chord that is often has, people will call it a B11 or a B9 sus. Here's the reason why. You have a B, an A, which is the flat 7. You have a C sharp, which is the 2 or the 9. And then you have an E, which is the sus4 or the 11. I once heard a trombone player and a piano player get into a lengthy argument about what to call that chord. I don't care what you call it, as long as you know it and play it. When you drop that E note down a half step, now you're bringing in the major third there of the B chord, which is a D sharp. So you have more of the B9 sound. It's an actual B9 chord. But it's different just because of the way that the notes are inverted. And then you do the same thing down a whole step. Those are fun to play. You'll hear them in jazz, R&B, Steely Dan type stuff. So be listening for that. It's also kind of nice to play as the 5 chord in the key of E. So if I was building a song on the 5, has a really nice tension attached to it. So Kris played a lick like that I thought was really fantastic. Not only is it blazing fast and fun, but it's got that great high E open drone note happening at the beginning of the lick. Now, he's going to do a masterful job of weaving major and minor pentatonic sounds. Let me show you what he does. So he slides into this G sharp note and walks that 2-fret riff all the way down. He blends G sharp, F sharp, E, there's your major pentatonic. D qualifies more to the minor pentatonic, to the B there. There it is. Then what he's going to do is do that same open E string drone idea, but grab the F sharp, play F sharp, E, D, B, D. And he does this little half step move, which I love, the B flat to the B, real bluesy. And you can pick, hammer, hybrid finger. Then he slides into this inversion here of this E with the G sharp and the bass. And then I finished it off with just sort of a little idea like that. You could finish it off however you like. Try that where you're actually toggling off of the chord and in the third and the bass. So E, E flat, D. Some other ways to end it might be B, B flat, A, G, G sharp. Thanks, Kris, for showing us a really cool lick. Actually, you played it, and I had to go back and learn it because it was so darn fast and hard, but it was really fun. I hope you dig it too. Kris teaches lessons, so be sure to find him on Kris Richards Music via his Instagram, and he's on YouTube as well. And you can reach out to him for a Skype lesson. And speaking of guitar lessons, you can sign up for a guitar lesson with me through my website at CoreyCongilio.com, or check out one of 15 guitar courses that I have available that range in styles from blues, country, rock, and acoustic music. Don't forget, you can also check Kris Richards out, subscribe to his channel, and find him on Instagram at Kris Richards Music. All right, I'm Corey Congilio. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you on the next video.